What's up, guys? It's Eli here with Night Jiu-Jitsu. I'm here with my buddy Eric Lance. We're up here in Newton Falls at Synergy Martial Arts. And I realized the other day that I never really made a dedicated video about the positional hierarchy of Jiu-Jitsu. And I use that term all the time. And I've heard that term all the time growing up in Jiu-Jitsu, and people refer to it all the time. But there's some people, I've had a couple questions about what exactly I'm referring to whenever I use that terminology. So I think it's a really good thing to break down because it's a very deliberate statement whenever we're talking about the positional hierarchy. Essentially what it is it's talking about the hierarchy of positions in as far as like what positions are dominant, what positions are more on the defensive side, what positions can we attack from, which ones do we need to prioritize for just defense and survival. So essentially we start from 4 positions in Jiu-Jitsu. There's mount, there's guard, there's side control, and there's back control or back mount. And then from there's lots of different derivations that can come out of that, and lots of different like variation positions, like a billion different types of guard. But it's important for us to understand whenever we're in a good or bad position, what our options are from there and what we need to prioritize. If we start from mount position, let's say, right, because this is one of the most archetypical positions in all of Jiu-Jitsu. If I'm mounted on top of Eric here, let's say, here, obviously, all things being equal, like not taken apart like his experience, my experience, our abilities, anything else, I'm winning this position. I'm in a dominant position. He is pinned with my legs over the outside of his body, and typically when my legs are around the other person, I'm in a dominant position, or I should be if I'm operating right. From here, it's a bad idea if we're fighting and not just strictly grappling. If we're fighting, he is much larger than I am. He's got longer arms. If he tries to punch me, it's not a good idea for him. He can barely even reach my face at this point. I can hit him from here. Whenever you get people talking about, well, he can hit your groin, or he can grab your groin, or he can do all kinds of other silly shit, that's a bad idea. Whenever he's in a position this bad, he does not need to be prioritizing how he can hurt me from here, regardless of what other little pressure point self-defense videos out there tell you to do. If he tries to do something that makes me upset, if I wasn't going to punish him for it already, I'm going to punish him worse now. He needs to prioritize survival from here, and then think about escaping, defending and escaping in that order. So that's kind of his priority here. If he thinks about attacking me, it's not a great idea. He doesn't have the leverage. He doesn't have anything like that. So I'm winning here, he's losing here, all things being equal. So mount position. Side control, or side mount, or whatever from here. And again, lots of different ways that this can look, but typically it's going to look like this, where I'm going to be hooked underneath his head. I'm going to be hooked underneath his far side arm with this underhook here. I'm probably going to be pinning, at least in the early stages of this, rather than trying to submit first. But that's the other element of this positional hierarchy, is it kind of instructs us to prioritize the foundation and the structure of the position over just, oh, I'm in a good position now, I need to immediately start attacking. Not necessarily. Whenever I get to a good position, I need to save my progress. And saving my progress means that I need to shut down his immediate responses a lot of the time. He doesn't want me to be on top of him. He doesn't want me to be mounted or in side control. So he's going to have some kind of response where he's trying to get back to a good position, or he's trying to reverse the position on me. I need to shut down his efforts first thing, and then I can start thinking about attacking. If I prioritize attacking too early, I might create spaces, or I might create opportunities for him to start escaping because I wasn't paying enough attention to the position itself. So that's another reason we refer back to the positional hierarchy, so that I can be aware in time and space where I'm at and what I need to be focused on. So side control is another dominant position for me. But again, if we're floating in outer space, from here, we're in an equal position. But the problem is we're on a planet with gravity, so I'm pinning him in this position. I'm obviously winning. Can he hit me from here? Can he do things, bite me, scratch me, knee me? Absolutely he can. However, I can do all those same things, and I can do them back on him worse, because I'm in a dominant position and I have much more ability to shut down his efforts to do all those things like that. So that's another element that's important in the positional hierarchy, is that it's not gospel, it's not cut in stone that just because I'm in this dominant position, that doesn't mean that I'm winning and he has to respect that. He doesn't have to respect that at all. He can be trying anything he wants to try. He can be trying to attack me, he can be trying to hurt me, and I need to be aware of that, and that's why I need to save my progress in the position, control the position first, and then think about attacking him. So again, when he's in this position, though, what's going to best benefit him is prioritizing survival and then looking about how he can escape or reverse the position. So that's 2 positions we've covered so far, mount and side control, 2 top dominant positions for me. Now, The most unique position in Jiu-Jitsu is the guard position, because it's the guard, in the guard position here, where Eric's legs are around me, like this. From here, we actually consider him to be in the dominant position. The reason it's a dominant position is because, one, he has infinite base. He can't fall. I'm in more vertical of a posture, so I can be wobbled and I can be turned over easier. He can't. He's done falling. He also has use of all 4 of his limbs, so he can pull me forward, he can push me back. So if I'm trying to come forward and smash him here like this, if he just pushes me back with his legs, he can relieve the pressure and he can start trying to make some space like that I'm trying to take away from him. Now, likewise, if I want to punch him, he can take that space away here, like this, and keep me in a position to where I'm less effective with my strikes. So from this position, what the rule book kind of says that I need to do is I need to prioritize how I can shut down his attacks, first of all, and then look to open his guard and get past his legs to where I can get in a more dominant position like the mount or side control. So again, all things being equal, he should be winning this position, and I'm on the defense here. So that's the guard position. And again, keep in mind, that was closed guard. There's a billion different types of open guard, there's variations of closed guard, there's rubber guard, there's spider guard, there's all these different animal guards. So, and the reason that those exist is because they're dealing with specific kind of threats from the way he's trying to pass my guard. So, and they're also setting up different ways that I can start to attack. So in different, they provide me different opportunities as far as the space that they create or the leverage points that they create to be able to apply submissions, take his back, sweep him, whatever. The most dominant position that we'll look at for the purposes of this video, and the 4th position that we'll focus on, is back control or back mount, right? Back mount typically implies that he's like prone on his belly, face down on the floor, and I'm mounted on his back. Typically what back control looks like is something like this. We're either seated or we're off to the side somehow. I've got my legs around him. I've got my hooks in front of his hips here like this. And then I've got some kind of a seatbelt connection where I'm underhooking an arm and I'm overhooking over his shoulder on the other side. Lots of little intricacies and details to all these positions, but for the most part, it kind of looks like the guard position, except he's facing the wrong way. Right? And then again, I may fall to the side over here where he's on my underhook side, which can be beneficial because I can apply chokes, I can do all kinds of different things to him from here. And why that's the most dominant position that we typically consider is because his defenses are so limited. He's trying to fight somebody that's behind him. So again, horrible idea if he thinks about how he can attack me from there, because he's got extremely limited ability to do that. He actually has very limited ability to be able to defend. But the great thing about it too, and that's why we call it a positional hierarchy, is because like this, it's not that I get there and I've automatically won. I've established and achieved a very dominant position, and the finish line should be in sight, but he can defend from any position. There's counters to every technique, there's counters to every position, there's ways to escape the bad ones, lots of ways to escape the bad ones, there's lots of ways to attack from the good ones. There's ways of taking a good position and making it better and improving on it. So that's why, again, to refer to that hierarchy of positions, I'm always constantly thinking, how can I improve my situation? How can I improve my situation? And we like to get to the point where it's automatic. We're not cognitively having to process, here I am, here's all the details, let's go through a checklist. You're going to be too late if you do that live, but it's a good rubric to go by whenever we're training before the fact. We can go by and we can apply this little grading rubric to, okay, I'm in this position, these are the things that I need to think about. Now we drill, and then the drilling is what kind of downloads that information, and it gets us operating on a principle level so that whenever we're rolling live or we're actually fighting, we don't have to sit and stop and think, waste all that time, waste all that energy, waste all that opportunity. Instead, we can just kind of operate, do our job, do our business. Then, after the fact, we can go back, apply that same kind of grading rubric to our performance and see where we messed up or what we did right and how we can improve on those situations. So one of the most important things that I think whenever you're training in Jiu-Jitsu is to understand and recognize where in the positional hierarchy you're operating before and after the fact, and always refer back to it to be able to grade your performance and improve upon it. So hopefully this was a helpful guide to the basis of positions in Jiu-Jitsu. If you're just starting out, or if you just need a refresher course, then this is something that I think is a really important thing to go by. So anyway, appreciate you, Eric.
Thanks, man.
And if you're ever in the Newton Falls area in Ohio, come by, stop at Synergy Martial Arts, check out Eric and his crew here. They got a fantastic program. And for more information, go and buy my BJJ Fanatics instructionals, join my Patreon, subscribe to this channel, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate you guys watching my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, guys.